too, I guess. I guess I'll get that too then. It's 1:30 right now. I could probably go get the part and be back by, I can be back by next Thursday, next week. You want me to go get the truck and bring it in here? What else do you need?
Can I use my system?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't use this thing, but yeah, you could use the other. You have what, a couple bathrooms in here?
Grab those bags and we can back up to the truck.
Well, so are we gonna come back a different day or are we gonna call someone else out? Because that's 3 bags and just 2 guys. Today? Yo, what's up, man? Fresh, first day on the job. What's poppin'? Just passed that Bud Light Stockton.
Nice to meet you. Are those the only shoes you brought?
Yo, you like them? Y'all don't got AC?
Not out here.
That's sus, bro. What's up, baby? What's it do? Man, it's gonna be me and you out there in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Slanging and banging. You and me all day, every day. What?
Fresh air.
Bussin', bro. Man, what y'all got up in the fridge, dude? Oh, apple juice! You should get me on there, man, with a fit check. With the flat cap bill, rocking them Jordan 4s, right? With the Home Hero shirt. I've gone to shops where literally guys have pulled me aside and like, man, I love all this stuff you're teaching, but if I do this, I'll be out till midnight. They're just gonna give me more calls. And it's heartbreaking. It's like, man, what's the real goal here? Like if I've got 12 tables in a restaurant and I can serve those 12 people and give them the best experience ever and I can be profitable. If I wanna make more money, I'm gonna add a 13th table. I'm not gonna add a 13th customer. Meaning I'm gonna increase my capacity. I'm not just gonna shove more people into my capacity. My room fits 56 people and I wanna sell more tickets to my event. I either have to increase the capacity or hold separate events. I can't put 115 people into a room of 57 people.
They want a tankless and a softener installed. They don't have either, and they've already been approved for financing.
What's that got to do? So you want me to go out there and do that call?
Well, they also say they've been having trouble with their sewer line and been wanting to replace it for a while, but they can't find somebody who they like to do it, but they think they trust us.
I don't want to have to work super hard to get it though. You want me to repipe the house, put it in the tankless, softener. You say something about a sewer line?
That's what it looks like. I think we should go check it out, man.
No, bro, this is ridiculous. And is this commission?
Yeah, I already talked to the owner about it. He wants to actually double your commission on it because it's such a big job.
No. So you want me to go out there, you want me to run this call, it's a bunch of work and a bunch of money or whatever, but it's also a bunch of taxes, and you're gonna have people out there helping me, watch me, do what I do, and then you want me to get it done faster so I make even more money, and then I have to, take another call because now I'm done by Thursday or something?
What else are you gonna be doing instead here, Steve? This is the job, man.
You got any odor smells or anything like that on there? Like maybe like in a different, maybe just... Why does on-call suck? Well, look, here's the thing. Most companies that do on-call 24/7 after hours, they don't treat it the same way they do during normal hours. They have a full staff and they have a full support system if someone calls between 8 and 5. But then after hours, they don't have a CSR, they don't have a supply staff, they don't have a lot of other things, and they want to go out and charge the same rates to the customer, if not even more, because they're doing after hours work. If you want to charge more and do on-call, then provide more service after hours. If you can't provide at least the same service that you provide during the day after hours, then you shouldn't do it. Think of it like an emergency room. Not every doctor is open after hours, but emergency rooms have a full staff after hours. Be an emergency room or be a doctor. But you gotta pick one and make sure that whatever you pick, you can service to the full. When there's no plumbers to hire, there's still a lot of plumbers that don't work for you working in your city. You're just not known enough. And so everybody tries to be just known enough because you don't want to overspend your marketing. And he goes, well, what do you do with all the money you spend on leads that you can't get to? And I'm like, well, what do you do with all the money you don't make when you're slow? See how this goes both ways? So I would rather spend a couple extra thousand every month and waste it and be known and have leads and momentum and be moving forward and I can hire into than to have that day, just one day when I'm slow. It'll be a couple grand in revenue off of one truck that we don't get.
It's that time again!
You
You've now entered the No Sale Zone.
No Sale Zone.
Where Chris Fresh
The plumbing sales coach.
peels back the curtain of what sales really is. Buckle up. Buckle up. And get ready to learn how to increase ticket average by providing better service. And now, your host,
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
CF.
The plumbing sales coach.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Fresh Approach. I'm your host, CF, the plumbing sales coach, and we have had a busy day today in the studio. Not gonna lie, it's been a really crazy day. We recently won this award back here, the ClickFunnels 2 Comma Club Award. We're really excited about that, but they had their staff out here today, and they did a video shoot, and they did a bunch of stuff, so we've been slammed. So please bear with us if there's any technical difficulties, but welcome. I've got something planned for you tonight that I think is really going to help. Tonight, we're going to rock out a training. I'm going to do a framework. I'm going to break down 3 numbers that you got to know in your business, really even as you're running your own truck, as a service plumber, whether you're a service plumbing owner or a service plumbing in the field, or if you're literally in any business or in sales or anything to do with entrepreneurship, you're going to want to pay attention, because we're going to break down 3 numbers that are costing you thousands of dollars if you don't know them and don't follow them. And it's not specific numbers. We're going to talk about the overarching theme tonight. And then I'm going to invite you to a training more in a Zoom format, not live like this, where we can interact and I can help you guys out. It's going to be a free training, but I'm going to invite you that here in a little bit to the show. And I cannot wait, or later on in the show. And I cannot wait to do that, because I really believe in this. I think that if you know your numbers, you know where you're going, you know your destination. More importantly, I think a lot of emotion spills over into business. If I can protect an employee, or I can protect an employer from a poor conversation because of a misunderstanding, I want to do that. Numbers do that. Numbers are your guiding light. They tell you where you're going and what's going on. But before we get into that, I want to say what's up. Katy, Texas, Mr. Potty Plumbing in the house. Now, what's interesting is we've got this software. We got a kind of a new setup tonight, and we've got this software that's showing me all the comments over here. And it's cool because it feeds them both Facebook and YouTube. So if you've been watching on YouTube and I haven't been reading your comments, here it comes, baby. Tonight's your night. But somehow YouTube, ironically, is a little bit bigger. And the first comment on YouTube is someone from Texas. So of course the comment from Texas showed up bigger on my screen. But what's up, Dorinda Obsta in the house from Mr. Potty Plumbing. Excited for this, Mason says. Austin Holcomb. Can you scroll up on that a little bit for me on the comments so I can see a little bit higher here? Yeah, we got Bob Kellogg in the house. Says, if you ain't first, you're last. I love it. Aqua Flush Plumbing says, hello, little jet lag, trying to stay alive. What's up, Austin Holcomb? Good to see you. We got a lot of people joining us. Steven, Adam Smith, what's up? Brittany Briner, what up? Trent in the house. Where are you from? Where do you plumb? Oh, El Oso Toledo sent us 20 stars. Appreciate you, brother. Dorinda says, heck yeah, she loves the fact that Texas shows up bigger. You're going to want to watch this tonight. I'm telling you, this is going to be the one. The main topic tonight is knowing your numbers. You got to know your numbers. You got to know your numbers, and there's more numbers than you can ever imagine. And some of them can be misleading. Some of them can be unnecessary. And some of them are downright detrimental to your success and your survivability, really. It's more than just success. Of course, everything is bigger here. Brandon Graham says, my boy's back, guys. Get ready for a 300 comment night. Brandon's in the house. He's the reigning champion of comments. In fact, let's do a comment of the night contest. Don't let me forget, guys. We're going to do a random drawing later on for best comment of the night. I'll let you guys vote on what you 3 can vote. We got our producing staff over here. They're going to vote on who they say have the best comment tonight. We're going to do, let's do a $50 Visa gift card. Let's buy lunch for somebody for a couple days. And then let's hook them up with maybe a couple hats or a hat and some shirts and a merch pack. So that's what we're going to do. Stevens Plumbing in the house. What up, Adam Smith? Here from Canada, they say. Welcome, welcome, welcome from the great north. Chesco Plumbing, PA. Patrick, good to see you as usual. Craig Lamonte, this stuff applies to more than just the plumbing business. I've known Craig. That's Craig. I've known Craig forever, literally almost forever. Chris Koss, what up? Bob Kellogg says. Okay, look. Let's see who can win this contest. Comment of the night, $50 Visa gift card, and a merch pack to the best comment. He says, best comments, let's go. And I'm going to break down some stuff for you guys tonight. Again, it's going to be a 50,000 foot level framework. We'll dive as deep as we can here live. But then I'm going to invite you guys to an additional training that you guys can come to that's free, no charge. Just want to spend more time with those that want to take it serious. Probably about an hour. It'll be a live Zoom so we can interact. Now make it a little bit more feasible to go deeper, right? Because you're going to have questions. But I want to break this stuff down for you. I'm going to show you how to do what I'm going to teach you to do tonight. So tonight we're going to talk about what you need to do, and then we're going to break down how you need to do it. I want one of those hats, Trent says. All right, let's see if we can get you one. Let's see if we can get you one. North Idaho Mountaintop Plumbing in the house. What's up? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Chris Cost, my boy. You know, we're going to talk about numbers tonight, but you want to talk about the king of service talk. That's why he's Chris Cost, K-O-S-T, because he is the king of service talk. Literally, can he make this stuff up? The guy's a beast. Numbers tell you where to look first. Absolutely. And that's, you know, that's an interesting one because there's two things I think a lot of people get confused with that. We're going to break that down. That's actually our third point tonight, Bob. Third point tonight. What's up, Carissa Stinson in the house says, hey, from YouTube. What up? What up? All right. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. VIP Plumbing, my boy Preston. John Camp, what's up? All right. Look, I'm going to tell you guys right now, the first one I think is the one that's not talked about. It's one of the biggest mistakes made. It needs to be talked about because it should determine everything when it comes to pricing and capacity, when it comes to what you should be charging, what you should be pricing, what you should be, what someone should pay when they do work with you. And again, I don't care if you're in plumbing. I don't care if you're in the restaurant industry. I don't care if you sell submarine sandwiches out the back of a car wash. You're going to need to know this number. And that number is simply your margins. Okay, that's number one. You got to know your margins. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of that information right now. But if you don't know your margins, your hose before you even start, you cannot do business in a successful way. And even those that are in commission-based roles or anything like that, you got to know your margins. You got to know where your limits are, what you can do and how you can build value and what you're allowed to do. And what we're talking about, business level margins. So that's going to be at the highest level, right? Like what you can do structured wise from a price point standpoint, how much volume you need to move over the course of a period of time. And I think a lot of people get this stuff confused, volume versus moment, meaning one widget versus how many widgets I got to sell to be profitable and successful. Because look, if I've got to make $100,000 a month to pay my bills and my widget's $3 and it costs me, 50 cents to make it, I could charge $10, I could charge $20, but it's still never going to be enough to be able to make up for the $100,000 I have to make. So I'm going to have to sell these at a margin that people are willing to pay and I'm going to be able to profit on. But then I got to sell a certain number of those. I got to sell a volume of those. One of the greatest examples I could give you, and oftentimes I talk about this with plumbing owners specifically, is look, we can use our cost, our burden rate, our hourly index, whatever you want to call it. We can use that. But the problem with this is it's very short-sighted and it causes you to have to plan on failure and some other things. Let me explain. For example, if you have an hourly rate, if you still subscribe to that kind of a thing, $350 an hour, most of your hourly rates are probably $400 or $500, something crazy. If you subscribe to that kind of a thing, I could make some simple off-the-cuff remarks really quick to obliterate that concept. One would be, an hour of breaking concrete has a different value than an hour of gluing P-traps or an hour of plumbing and gas or an hour of plumbing in a tankless. They're all different skill levels. And so they have different, an hour of cleaning a house, an hour. And so we started thinking about that stuff and it's like, well, by the hour shouldn't really determine our value. Like there's no blanket thing here. I don't know if you're like me at all, but if I'm standing in a 12-foot trench, I feel like I'm worth more per hour than if I'm standing, on a piece of concrete in a dry basement that's heated or air conditioned and I'm fixing a leak. I just think that there's more value for that 1 hour. So I don't believe it. I believe it's solution based. Another example would be if a knee surgeon works on my knee for an hour versus a brain surgeon works on my brain for an hour, that's going to have a different value. But even without that, let me just get into the raw numbers of it all. If you do it like this, so what's going to happen is you have to add up all your costs. And it's almost like the reverse engineered way of doing how they always taught us to do money when we were kids. We make the money, then we spend it. Well, when you do hourly, you spend the money, then you try to make it back. For example, you break down all the money that you spent and you figure out all your costs and all your burden rates and then what it's going to cost to do the actual work, what they call cost of goods and services, COGS. And you factor all that out and it creates a need to charge a certain amount of money because you got to cover your costs. And the problem with that thinking is that if I go out and let's say we're going to deliver water bottles together, and you're in business to deliver water bottles and I'm in business to deliver water bottles, and you go out and buy minivans and I go out and buy Lamborghinis, my cost is going to be higher than yours and my water bottles aren't going to be any better. And at some point, I'm going to outprice myself. I'm going to price myself out of work. I'm going to get myself to a place to where I'm not able to pay the bills because I can't do enough volume. And see, this is where I think a lot of people get bottlenecked. It's not about how much money you can make off of a job. It's about making enough money to be profitable and then being able to be convertible. See, this isn't like one of those things on the internet where they go, hey, charge more if you're not able to convert. I hear that talk or charge more if you convert too much. I hear that talk in general business. And oftentimes it's spoken by internet sensations that are talking to people who are selling digital products, selling their time. This is different. This is a business where you're going into a home that has a physical need. We want to convert on every one of those. We don't want to ever walk away from a customer. Just the testimony alone has value. And I just really disagree with people who say you want to be converting under a certain. I think you need to be converting at 80, 85%. Honestly, 90. We celebrate 100% in our program. When companies come through, they go, man, we've been converting for the last 2 months at 100%. We're like, heck yeah, because we know our margins. So here's the margins: 50% on gross profit. 50% on gross profit. That's where you want to be in home services. That's kind of your base minimum. You want to be higher than that, but that's where you need to be, 50%. And if you think about it from a wholesale rate, then what that means is I go to one home in the morning and I spend 8 hours there, and I basically am able to plumb all day long. That would be a wholesale rate versus me going to a home, takes me a half hour to get there. I diagnose for a half hour. I convert. I do work for an hour, maybe 45 minutes. And by the time I clean up and finish, 2 hours of my day is gone, but I only did an hour of work. That's retail. And so we start thinking about it like that. It's like, oh, I'm going to have to price differently based off of the retail version or the wholesale version. And what incentivizes my customer to be able to do more work with me? Like when I go to Best Buy, what are they looking at to know that they can take the surround sound and bundle it with the TV and give me some sort of package deal? Water bottles. I've been using the Fresh Collector and have a price book. I love it. Or the calculator. Wait, so you have to factor in risk and liability? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so crazy. It's like almost like this $5 part sitting, 2 feet off the ground under a sink is got a totally different risk when you put that in than if it's buried 12 feet underground. And I get some of you like, there's no $5 part. It's just a random example. Everyone can't have the same prices. Whoops. My company does 65% gross margin. Yeah, every industry is a little bit different. We're talking about home services. But yeah, if you can increase your gross profit margin, that's wonderful. That's amazing. Now, there's a reality that's base, right? So if you're doing a lot of retail work, you're going to want to be at a higher gross margin. If you're doing a lot of wholesale work, meaning if I can buy one lead, drive to one house, and do work all day long there, I'm willing to take a lower gross profit margin than having to buy 3 or 4 leads to do 8 hours of work. We're going to break this stuff down so much deeper. You guys can go to, there's a link in the comments. You guys can go there. I'm going to do like I don't know why it says webinar. It's going to be an actual training. We're going to do 60 minutes. I'm going to break down these numbers, specifically in the KPIs. I really want to drive deep into that. And I want you guys to see how this works, because when you start understanding the numbers, again, we're going to point 3 tonight. We're going to dive into a little bit of this. When you start understanding the numbers, you know exactly where to go to fix it. It tells you where the problems are. Okay, 50% gross profit. Now, the only way you can do that is if you're pricing your material, you're paying attention to your material. One major mistake I see there is a lot of people don't calculate tax. They don't consider the tax when they go to buy the material. So they price things based off the pre-tax amount, and then that can cause you a little bit of pain on the back end. Tamara says, good morning, everyone. Drive to one house and work 2 to 3 days. Lucasina, my man, that's exactly right. She said, good evening, everyone. Why does it say, oh, it changed? I swear it said good morning. I'm just losing my mind. Maximize per call. Absolutely right, Austin. I like to be able to bundle for my customers, give them the most bang for their buck. 100% Trent. Shauna says the link's not working. Perfect. Can you guys test that out real quick? See why that's happening? Did you guys type it in correctly? Told you there might be problems tonight. Okay, gross profit margin, 50%. In net profit, we want to see 22 to 26. I say 25. Keep it simple and clean. And then for operations, we want to be around 25%. And one of the biggest line item numbers you're going to see in your margins, in your P&L, in your operations is going to be your marketing. Hear a lot of chatter about that. Just my take on that has always been 8% is where you want to be at for your service plumbing company. Again, other industries might be slightly different. You need to know what that number is. 8%, 10% if you want to grow, 12% if you want to explode, kind of that number. You can dilute that down with really effective offline guerrilla marketing, or you can increase that by paying to play all the time. That's up to you if you want to get real effective with your marketing, or you just want to keep letting Google and other companies buy your leads for you and then sell them back to you, or you can go earn them and really dilute that marketing cost. But that's about what you're going to see. Those are the numbers. 50% for the gross profit, 25% for the net profit, the other 25% is going to go towards running the business, operations. Your payroll should truly be split between the payroll that it costs to operate versus the payroll it costs to do the actual work. Margins, you got to know them. You got to know your numbers. When you look at that P&L, you shouldn't be looking at the amount you spent. You should be looking at the percentage. That's going to tell you more indicatively like how you're doing with your money. How are you spending it wisely? Are you overspending it? Are you squeezing yourself? I see a lot of owners that are actually making money, but it looks like they're not because they're squeezing themselves. Looks like we're having Pete's driving to 3 or 4 calls each day when I can make the same amount on one call, 100%. If it can get more bigger jobs, I'll throw in the smaller ones just to show the value. There's so many, but you got to know the margins to know what you can do there, right? But 100%. We always use the example of like, dang, you can go to one call and you can do one rebuild on a toilet, and that rebuild can be $300, $250, $350, whatever your price is, doesn't matter because it works. Just whatever your price is. And the customer's probably not going to like that price regardless of what that price is. And then you could do 2, like honestly, if I go to a house, I'm like an hour by the time I get to the work, maybe 45 minutes by the time I get to the actual work. So I got to drive there. That's a half hour, maybe 15, 20, 30 minutes diagnosing that, it takes time. Then I get the approval. They go with one rebuild. They're complaining about the price. It's $250. I spend another 20, 30 minutes doing that. Now I'm an hour and a half in, clean up, get the payment, get out of there 1 hour and 45 minutes in. I could probably do all 3. If they have a 3-bathroom, I could probably do all 3 of their toilets in like another 20, 30 minutes. So now I'm 2 hours and 15 minutes in. So for another half hour of my day, I could literally do the second and third toilet at buy one, get one free. Meaning they pay for 2 and I do 3. And they're happier because they're getting a deal. They're getting something for their money. I'm happier because I'm getting more for my time. Even though I had to do one at no charge, just think about the science of that. And then take it to a much bigger level. Doesn't matter what you do for a living. You can either learn how to close people or you can learn how to build value. And when you build value, people know buyer's remorse. People are happier. Okay, we're going to do this. What is it? Best comment of the night, $50 Visa gift card. We'll vote here at the end. We'll give away a merch pack. Also, you can really at the end here, we'll do the 3 numbers and kind of lock into all 3 of these. And then I'm going to give you that link again. Hopefully it's working. It looks like it is working for most people. Maybe not everybody. Just email us if you want to come. info@theplumbingsalescoach.com if you can't get registered for whatever reason. And we'll get you locked in. Don't worry. It's a free training, 60 minutes. And we're going to dive deep into this. I want you to see this third one that we talk about, which is one of the most missed ones that I can conceivably talk about. When you break these down in the training that we're going to do, when you break these down, you're going to see exactly not only where to look in your company like for a problem, but I'm going to tell you exactly what the problem is. That's how long it's a pattern. Numbers are patterns. That's how long we've been doing this. Like a lot of these people on here that are commenting, some of these guys are in our program. Some of these are actual technicians in our program. They know what I'm talking about. They've seen the patterns themselves. They've seen how the numbers tell the story. I cannot wait to break all the rest of this down. Joshua Roy, what up? Austin says that's actually a stellar idea. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you invest another half hour for double the revenue? It's like it's almost like why wouldn't you? Not why would you, but why wouldn't you? I know more comments are coming, but it stopped scrolling just so you guys know. There we go. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Eddie Rourke, my man, back in the day. Me and Eddie shared a steak together. I believe, Eddie, that's you, right? ER? I believe so. Never mind. Wrong person. We should, sir. You want to have a steak? Let's have a steak. Okay. Second one I want to talk to you guys about tonight. Second one I want to talk to you guys about tonight is equally important. You can go ahead and flash it up. It's different, though. And it's one that I think needs a little bit of explaining. This is where I think a lot of people struggle with their concept of scale, so capacity. A couple of examples I'll give you. There's the one that I like to give away, the most basic one I like to give away. And it's just the restaurant, right? Like if you have 12 tables and you can seat maybe you can turn those tables 4 times a night. So you're like, I can have people sit down, eat, leave, clean it up. New people come down, sit, eat, leave, clean it up, come back. You can do that 4 times a night at that one table. And you do that amongst 12 tables. That's 40, what you would call 48 tables. And let's say those 48 tables, 12 tables, all holding 4 people that can rotate 4 times. You start to realize, okay, I've got 12 tables. I can rotate 4 times. That's 48 tables with a capacity of 4 people per table. That means my maximum potential seats tonight that I can serve in my restaurant. And then you have to do that math. What's 48 times 4? 160 plus 24, 184, I think. So 184 different times you can serve an entree. You can serve a drink. You can serve. And then they know their ticket average, their average transaction at each seat. And they go, some restaurants, $30, $40, a little bit nicer. You start getting $50, $60 per person. All the way on up, believe it or not, all the way on up. And lower, you can go lower too. Like Waffle House is probably averaging, $12 or $15 per person, where a Chili's is $25, or, with the drink and food and so forth and so on. And so you add all that up and you know how much money you can generate in one night. That's it. That's what you can do. So every time you let one person sit at that 4 top, that affects that capacity. Every time you let a 2 top sit at that 4 top. And you have to come into this with some understanding of your business. So as a restaurant, you would realize, well, there's going to be some 2 tops and 3 tops, and it's not always going to be 4 tops. In your plumbing business, it's the same way. Another great example could be a grocery store. I could keep adding back warehouse space. I could keep adding coolers. I could add more aisles. I can add more produce. I can add more meat. I can add more seafood. I can add more. But no matter how much I add to the back warehouse, and no matter how much I add to the store, if I don't have cash registers, I can only check out so many people at a time. That's capacity. See, every business has this. And I think we don't understand our capacity. And oftentimes we try to squeeze more into our capacity thinking that will make us more money, but it doesn't. But it doesn't. Do you believe in transparency with tech regarding profit and loss statements? I don't think there's any point in getting into details that don't need to be gotten into. No. Profit and loss statement has nothing to do with it. You won't win. I think you're like, well, I'm going to show them I'm not making money. That will just create fear. And if you show them that you are making money, that'll just create greed. I don't see how you win that one. It's not, and it's irrelevant. If you're an employee out there, I love you. And I'm an employer. I've got employees that are in the room with me right now. You should be taken care of. Know your worth and get your worth. But if you want to have the risk and reward of ownership, you got to become an owner. You can't live vicariously through anyone else. So as an owner, that's your information. Can you scroll up? I want to say there were some really good comments in there. Oh, Home Heroes, what up? That's got to be Vince. That's Vince. I can hear it. Need to be able to diagnose. That's what we talk about in our program, diagnosing and solving problems. That's sales. Like, there's no sales. diagnosing and solving problems. Shauna said, or Dorinda said, as Shauna did this last week with the softener, came down $40 on an all-day job. We walked away with $39 job for an all-day job. No brainer, obviously. Yeah, and sometimes, and I know what you're saying there, but for those that don't know, there's something called value stacking where you have these value adds where you can take a $20 shut off or, a $20 fill valve, and it's got $250 of value or $300 of value to the customer, and you can use that to stack that in. Numbers without personal relationships will only get you so far. Did 13 shutoffs in one house, asked him what his goal with the price was. Customer needed the condo to put his kids through Penn State. I said, let me take care of this place for you. Set up for the 8-9 years. Your kids, are you set up good to sell when you're done with it? Yeah, I mean, look, absolutely. If you get into a conversation with a customer and you understand their why behind what they're doing and what their purposes are and what their goals are and what they're after, you can absolutely start building value in the right things. Not the wrong things, but the right things. Start telling your guys about that. I believe it'll stress them out. Absolutely. Hey guys, look, we're 3 days from shutting down. Let's go get them. End of the day, I had the water heater, all the shutoffs, and a main valve. Gave him half the valves for free. Of course. It's harder to sell when everyone's stressed about the owner's numbers. It's harder to live. Don't stress about things out of control. Stress about what will make customer home better. Absolutely love it, Lucas. Amen. Okay, this capacity thing is so important because this is where we overwork our team. The first customer is the employee. That's how I believe it should work. You have a leader, and then that leader decides to be on mission for something. In my case, it's to teach the service plumbing industry, to really teach the world, always serving, always be providing this amazing customer experience. That is my goal for you. That is my goal for the end users to receive that. And then I get a staff that joins me in that, and we share in the revenue. I pay them some. They trade their time in gifting, and I share in the revenue. Now we are an employee-owned business, so all of my staff gets some sort of revenue share off the company. We're a little bit different. We're modeled differently. I was looking over to see how they were smiling. There's a couple of them. There they go. They're smiling. But yeah, we share. We want everyone to be happy and successful here. So that's what we do. And then they join me. And then I've got a customer base. Then beyond that, I've got an audience. That's a lot of you that are just watching. You've been watching for 7 years. We get emails sometimes. They're like, hey, I've been watching you for like 4 years. You ever thought about doing any coaching? And I'm like, oh, we do coaching. Why don't I tell more people that? Yeah, we coach, we do the whole thing, we train, we service, whatever, all of it. We do it all. We fix companies, we fix service companies. Service plumbing companies that want to get fixed, want to be transitioned into a fine dining type style business. That's what we do, that's what we specialize in. Sometimes we don't say that enough, so people don't know that, but they reach out. So a lot of you are just in our audience, and we love that. We want to do that. Like, just advocate for your tribe, advocate for your audience. Like, all of us are in that audience, including me. I got to be the first example. Advocate for your audience and watch your business grow. Advocate for your employees. Advocate for your customer. Advocate for everybody. Because then it just becomes like this machine, this beast that you can't stop. Like, it grows on its own. Sick. Fun too. It's way more fun, especially when everyone comes together. Like, we have our struggles in our business. Trust me. We don't even know what we're doing. We're out here trying to coach and train and put on shows, and we know how to do. I know how to run a service plumbing company. Like, I don't know how to run an internet business, but we're doing that, and we're figuring it out as we go. We have struggles and we have wins. Today was a real big victory for us as we were trying to figure out social media. It's such a beast, right? How many of you can relate to that? And you're like, Chris, you're all over the place on social media. Trust me, you can never know enough. Always be growing, never settle, never quit. Those are our mantras. Those are our things here inside of our company. And always be growing, always be learning, like always be getting better. And so we divided it up amongst the team. So, okay, you learn Facebook, you learn TikTok, you learn Instagram, you learn LinkedIn. The team went off, they did their thing, they came back together, they collaborated, we figured out some things, and maybe a show that we'll share what we learned with you guys so you can help you out. But man, it's just so cool to see that stuff when everybody comes together. And when you build that environment, you build that culture, you have to protect it. You can't be overworking people, can't be shoving more into the capacity that can, you're not gonna win anyone over and make more money by trying to squeeze another another table in that night, or another person. Like if like okay, I'm only using 2 seats at this table. I'm gonna put 2 strangers at this table with them, or I'm gonna try to run another round of tables. It's like, come on, man, you're just gonna wear everyone out. You guys are doing great, man. Thank you. I had to become an influencer without knowing. I feel that. I was at Disney World and someone came up to me at Epcot and was like, hey, you're the plumbing guy with all the videos. And I was like looking around and I was like, he's probably talking to me. I don't think there's anyone else that's a plumbing video guy there. Caught me off guard. My issue is trying to operate out in the field, but also do social media and create enough content. Yeah, it's hard, bro. And then like, let's keep going. Answer the phone, book the calls, make the stuff. You know, I think Tim's on here. I don't know if Anytime Plumbing, has he been on here tonight? He's usually on here. Tim's been in our program for years. I just saw him a couple of days ago at a mastermind. Love that dude. Big shop, you know, 6, 7, 8 million, 40 something employees, you know, big shop. But even he struggles with all this. It's hard, right? To keep up with all these things. That's why you gotta have a system in place. You gotta have organizational charts in place. You gotta process, you gotta have a blueprint. You gotta know what you're doing. Either you gotta create it or get it. Okay, look, I'm telling you right now, if you can wrap your mind around this, the experience you give people will far outdrive any value set that you can provide. Like that strategy, making the experience amazing, is what provides the most amount of value. The second one to that is convenience. And if you can provide an amazing experience while being convenient, I mean, at that point, you're not compared to nothing. No one goes to Disney World and is like, well, the price is at Six Flags. And I hear all the comparisons all the time. I think you wouldn't go to a restaurant. And by the way, if you're a plumbing business owner or you're a server, don't stop doing those videos. That's not attracting customers. You're just attracting other business owners to pat you on the back and feel bad for you. Stop making those videos. But if I make those videos, it's okay because you're my customer. So I'm advocating for you. But I won't make those videos either because if you think about it, the steak at Chili's doesn't have the same value. I would be questioning the price at Chili's if it was $76. Someone mentioned Ruth Chris earlier. If I go to Ruth Chris, I expect it to be $70. I expect it to be $136. But if I go to Chili's, it better not be more than $26. And that's pushing it, Chili's. Don't get me started, Waffle House. You better not have a 2 anywhere in that number. Because the quality is different, the experience is different, the value is different. And look, I'm not going to pay $22 for a steak at Waffle House. I'm going to pay $100 and something for a steak at a fine dining restaurant. I'll do it again. That's 6 times more expensive in a lot of cases, right? Because I'm honestly like, I'm probably at $12.50 at Waffle House mentally. It's like 7, 8 times more. But the steaks don't cost that much more. They're considerably more, but they're not that much more. And so what drives up that value? Why am I paying? So you're telling me that the steak at Ruth Chris or at the fine dining restaurant is $100 more than this to them? No, it's probably this steak is $3, $5, whatever it is at Waffle House to them. And the one at Ruth Chris is $20 or $30 to them. But they can make $120 off that steak or whatever because of the surrounding ambiance, the rest of the experience. And when you grasp that, you don't have to increase your capacity by squeezing more in. You can increase your capacity by adding more, getting a bigger building, getting more tables. I hope if you can grasp that, don't mess with Waffle House, man. That's my favorite. I go there. I just went there. I threw up the next morning. I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but I just went there, and that's a true story. Just went there like maybe a month ago. I go to Waffle House. I don't go to IHOP Aqua Flush. Sorry. So like we're getting into the whole like we're about to start another round here. So we all know I'm Apple versus Droid. We all know I'm In-N-Out versus whatever. I'm Team Waffle House over IHOP. It is what it is. I don't want to. I don't, Jeff, what? If you listen to half of what Fresh preaches, you'll get better teching, man. Love you, Lucas. Lucas is the only guy I ran a call with where I always feel like I'm being trained. Where else can you get a decent breakfast and fight all in one? Waffle House, 3 a.m. I got to pass. I was younger. Okay, look. Team Waffle House, baby. They got their own language. It's sick, bro. It's sick in there. Sick in there. You might get sick in there, but it's sick in there. I love it. He said, dude, it changed my world. Stupid thing. I think, I don't know what yeah. Okay, look. Grasp that right there. Customer experience, convenience, those two things together. It's the double dipsy. It's the double dipsy. My boy Chuck. Love you, brother. Okay, look. You know, I get some hate on the internet, by the way, and it's always fun to come on the show and be around the people that actually know me. I don't know a lot of you. I know that we haven't met personally, but there's a lot of you we have met, and we've worked together for a long time. Or I ran calls with you. We've been in homes together. We plumbed together. We did something together. It's good to be on here. What I was just in the Philippines. I really wanted a steak. Too expensive. Wow, best place to go after a big job. Dang, dude, they got you working late. Watch a good fight in the wee hours of the morning, Trent says. Look, man, my boy Tim is on here. Nuggets of gold, Scott says. Yeah, I love Scott, bro. Scott's a G-Funk. Listen, I'm telling you right now, you provide that amazing experience, your ticket value, your ticket, everything goes up. Everything goes up. Okay, the third one. I want to break this third one down. Now, look, this third one it's a monster. So I've been holding off on it. It's a monster. It's KPIs. And there's going to be a secondary piece of this, but I think a lot of people call KPIs metrics. They wrap it all into the same thing. They're not really the same thing. Smothered and covered, Waffle House, baby. Yeah, smothered and covered, that takes me back. That takes me to a special place and a special time and a special memory. Michael Lewis, thank you for that comment. I've been to Waffle House at 2 a.m. and a fight broke out. It's breakfast and entertainment for less than $20. Oh, man. Austin Holcomb, baby. Okay, look. Waffle House does offer an experience. You are exactly right about that. You're exactly right about that. And that's how they get the extra $2.50 out of us for the steak. Okay, look, let's get into KPIs and metrics. I want to kind of break this down. There's something that a pastor taught me one time, Pastor Randy Gilmore. We'll never forget it. The guy is a genius. I love him. You ever been around someone that's just really wise? Like they're just full, everything they say is just like, oh, more wisdom. And that's the way this guy is. He's been a big piece of my life. But anyways, he was teaching about lead measures and lag measures one day. And this idea that the lead measures are the activities and the lag measures are the results. So it's just like, you know, I want to make $1 million. Well, okay, well, that's a lag measure. That's what you're going to end up with. What's the measure? What's the things leading up to that? What are the things you're going to do? The mile markers. So like if you're going to drive from here to LA, what are the mile markers? Why would you go to LA? I don't know. Anyways, if you're going to drive from here to LA, what are the mile markers and what would they be? And how do you know you're on the right course, on the right track? And when you think about KPIs and metrics, it's the same kind of way. Like metrics are the things leading up to the KPI. So at CarMax, when I used to work at CarMax, we got paid on the number of cars we sold. We got paid on the number of cars we sold and the number of warranties we sold and the accessories we sold, the things we sold. We didn't get paid really for doing a test drive. We didn't get paid for doing a credit app. We didn't get paid for taking another customer. We didn't get paid for doing an appraisal on their trade-in. We got paid for selling cars. So that was the KPI. That was the lag measure. That was what we were all after. But the metric that they would measure to see if we were going to sell cars was how many customers we took at the front door, how many test drives we did, how many credit apps we did. Does this make sense to you? And by the way, really quick, remember we're doing this $40 or $50 gift card. I tried to shorten it by $10. We're doing this $10 gift card. I'm kidding. We're doing this $50 gift card comment of the night giveaway along with a merch pack. So leave your best comments on this stuff. Tell us your wisdom. But I want you to think about that. Like, what are activities that lead up to a conversion? What are the activities that lead up to a sale? And so those are your metrics. So oftentimes what we'll do is we'll say, okay, your KPIs are, the this, but your metrics are the things you want to look at to see why you're not getting that. And if you don't know what these are and you get these confused, you're going to, for example, there's no reason to look at the metrics unless the KPIs say there's a problem. That's been my opinion. That's how you move fast. You don't get bogged down in the emotion of your business. Like at CarMax, they want me to take a certain number of test drives so that I'll get a certain number of credit apps, so that I'll get a certain number of sales. But what if all they did was look at my credit app? And they go, hey man, your credit apps are real low. Like you need to get those up or you're getting written up. But then they look at my sales and I have the highest amount of sales. And what they didn't realize was I had a lot of cash paying customers that month. They would ruin the trust employee to employer relationship. They would break the culture. They'd be micromanaging the wrong thing. And then I would be disgruntled after having my best month or having a great month or the best month. And we'd lose the ability to capture the momentum and synergy of that moment to celebrate the good job that I had done. Instead, we'd be focused on the wrong thing. Do you do that in your business? Do you get in there so much sometimes? Cost is on here. I don't know, Cost, if you're still on here, brother, but I'm going to publicly apologize to you. I'm going to publicly apologize to you because I used to do this to him. You could boil this thing. If you really micromanage, boy, you could really boil this thing. And I boiled this thing all the way down to every word he said on the phone, when he talked to a customer, when he interact. And I'd try to control everything back when we first started out together. I try to control everything. And it would be like, dude, don't say that. Say this. No. Say no. Say this. Don't say that. I'm managing like the micro metrics. And it would affect the KPIs in a negative way because I wasn't allowing him to be himself. I should have waited to see if there was anything there to correct. And that's where the emotion comes in, because if you know your numbers, if you know where you're going, if you know where you've been, if you know where you're at, if you know, you can't be talked out of it. This is the problem with most people in politics and the media. You don't know, so you can be swayed. If you don't know your numbers, you can be swayed. You can walk in, you can be excited about the day, you can have a game plan, and someone can come in and complain about someone, or you can see a flat tire, or you can come off your rails and blow the whole day up before it even starts. Over what? Over what? What if that's you? What if you are creating and causing chaos as a leader because you're not measuring the right thing, so therefore you're creating the wrong assessments and you're taking the wrong action? See, this is the problem with charging by the hour. This is the problem with the world that's teaching you to add up all your costs and figure out what your hourly rate is and then make sure you're charging at least this. That's crazy. You cannot do that. That's not real. That's just, look, it's easy to get on the internet and be like, raise your prices, you'll make more money. That's not real. That might be your situation. That might not be your situation. Everybody's in a different situation. And it might not be that you need to raise all your prices. You might need to raise your water heater prices, but you might need to lower your toilet prices. And someone else might need to raise their toilet prices but lower their water. See, it's not just a blanket answer. But what is blanket is margin. What is blanket is risk. What is blanket is actual capacity. What is blanket is KPIs. And like they say, you can always, you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip. You can only squeeze so much out of that capacity. And your KPIs will tell you not only what that capacity is and if you're hitting it, but then you can look at your metrics to figure out why not. I want to show you how to take those numbers, the metrics, and really utilize those to understand how to fix your business. That's the free training we're going to offer you. I want you to go to the link, sign up for the free, the 60-minute deal. It's going to be me. It's going to be Zoom, so we're going to be able to interact. It's going to be a little bit different. I want to be able to interact with you. I'm going to be able to take your questions through the chat and answer them and get you the help you need specifically for your business. But you got to know these numbers. You got to know these metrics. And if you don't, you're done. You're dead. And you won't even know it. Or if you do, you won't know why. But either way, it's over. Finito. Still not able to use the link. If you can't use the link, just go to your email. Email us at info@theplumbingsalescoach.com. Is that how it works? No, it's just email. Yeah, info@theplumbingsalescoach.com. And you can just email us and say, hey, I wanted to get that free training that's coming out for knowing your numbers. I think it's next Tuesday is when we're doing the training. Yeah, next Tuesday is when we're doing the training. So not tomorrow. I guess that would technically be next Tuesday. But a week from tomorrow, we're doing the training, 1 p.m. Eastern. But basically, just email us at info@theplumbingsalescoach.com. Be like, hey, I want to get that information. We might ask you for a couple things, and then we'll send you the link. We'll get you registered. We'll make sure you have access. We'll get you hooked up with that. Okay, we need to do comment of the night. We need to do this thing. But look, really quick, just a recap. And look, I've got this really cool, I want to say it on here. Can we flash anything up tonight on, let me show you something that's out. I gotta show, I'm not supposed to, we're going to show it right now. Do we have it? Let's show it to them. There's this really cool software out that it's sick. You got to look at this thing. It could show you all these numbers at a glance like that. And it's really cool. It's a simple connection. It just APIs right into your software. But this stuff it's called Revolytics. You can go to their website. You can book a demo. You can talk to them directly. Just Revolytics.com. Great. I've known the owner. The guy that created this is a great friend of mine from the Navy. We've been friends for ever, literally almost ever. And the guy's a genius, literal genius. Anyways, he saw the need through our relationship, and he's been in marketing forever. He's like, dude, we gotta fix this. So he created this Revolytics, tracks all your numbers, shows you where your problems are. The training that I'm going to do will show you what to do with the numbers. So I'm going to show you how to track them manually. You can do it yourself if you don't want to use software. But look at this thing, man. It shows you the numbers. It shows you how you're doing, where your fall offs are. I think there's another one. You have another image, Tyler. And this, it's got an app. You can track everything from your phone. There's another image, I think, that you want to show. That was it? Okay, that's everything. All right. Okay, yeah. So this thing's sick. You can get more information on that just by going to Revolytics.com. But the metrics that I'm going to teach you how to kind of learn, observe, and train and fix inside your company are things I'm going to show you how to track. That's something that can just do it for you. It can just make it real simple and real easy. King Rooter says they've been using Revolytics. Yeah, I think a lot of people know about Revolytics. Revolytics.ai. Sorry, Revolytics.ai is the website. Revolytics.ai. They've got some AI technology in there that's sick too. That can listen to the calls and tell you where your revenue's coming from on a lead. It's really cool stuff. Revolytics.ai. Anyways, that's a great friend of mine. I love him. Go check them out. Okay, so you're gonna want to sign up for that training, and let's make sure we get you the rest of this, because if you can use this, this can be a game changer. This is going to be a quick way to say unemotionally. Is that a word? To unemotionally address the needs and problems in your business. Not only that, I'm going to tell you how to fix them. So not just okay, here's how you track the number. I'm going to teach you that. And then I'm going to teach you what to do with that number, as far as what the problem is. But I'm going to then tell you how to go fix it. And it's very doable. It's all very doable. You just got to know. That's half the battle, right? G.I. Joe, knowing's half the battle. All right, we're going to do comment of the night here. And you can call out through your customers and receive calls. Didn't through calls. Oh, yeah, he's talking about Revolytics. It also tracks the missed calls, tracks anything that, it's sick. I didn't give it enough justice. A great way to say what it is it's a revenue recovery machine. It tracks where your revenue is coming from. It tracks where it should have come from. It shows you where it got missed, what home even spent the revenue, what home did. If you have any reality in your mind that you're missing out on opportunity, this shows you exactly where and how to get it. And so anyways, I don't want to turn into a salesman for them, but that is what it does. It is sick. No, it's not like CallRail. CallRail's a phone service. This is a analyzing revenue tracking machine. It's a money recapture. That's, if you really want to wrap your mind what it is, it just captures money that you missed. That's a better way of saying it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's smart what technology can do, right? It's crazy what they can do with these. If he sees this, these internet geeks. I'm just joking, dude. You guys don't work with your hand. You work with your brains. Good for you. But yeah, these guys, these coders, these gurus. It's crazy what they can do just with some information. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Anyways, go check it out. Revolution.ai. Don't take my word for it. They'll do a demo with you. Woo! Finally caught alive. Family plumber. What up? What up? This training has made me feel fresh going into tomorrow. I love it, Austin. Oh, he's trying to get that. That's comment. He's trying to get comment of the night. Have you guys already voted over here? We have a comment of the night. Okay. Oh, it looks like a long one. Can I get it? You can come on camera, bro. Come on. Show the folks. Show the folks. No, show the folks. I just want to see someone come on camera. Come all the way over. Say what up, Logan. What up? Did he come all the way on? All right, barely. He's a little embarrassed. I made him do that. Need a one-on-one call with you. Let me know if that's available. It will be tricky getting on a one-on-one with me. I know that we will. If you do that webinar, you'll be on a live call with me. That would be a great way to get access. And then if you reach out to our team, Mary, my sister, actually handles all those calls, and then Mason, my son, another one. He's actually in the room right now. You guys can hop on a call and talk through things, and then we can see if we need to connect or not. Bro, the comment of the night is smothered covered ice chunks and outdoor, baby. I'd say that's pretty funny, though. I do like that. That is pretty funny. That's definitely runner up. All right, Austin Webb says, options are the simple way to maximize per opportunity. 3 great options and a clear upfront explanation. Make sure they feel like they're only customers I have. Make sure I leave them with a safe home and offer a ton of value as well. Let's do some backup gifts, but congratulations to Austin. I got a couple more gift cards coming out. So let's get him that. That's a $50 gift card for you, my man, and a merch pack. Please send in a message to our page messenger. That's one way, and tell us what your address is, tell us what your shirt size is, and we'll get that out to you. If you don't want to message us on Messenger on Facebook, email us at info@theplumbingsalescoach.com and say I won. If any of you else try it, we will double check to check you. But Austin Webb, that's for you. For a couple more people, do we got a backup winner? Yeah, we got a backup winner. All right, I got a $25 Visa gift card for you. Dude, Lucas is like he knew. Lucas knows, dude. Lucas be doing that. Shauna Dobbs sent stars. Shauna, you were the best, by the way. We love you. And Shauna's look, I personally got to interview her for service manager for Mr. Potty Plumbing back, I don't know when it was. She turned the job down, but she was such a good interview. I had nothing to do with that company. I coached them, and they were in a program that I was doing different things for them, and they got me to do their. In fact, Shauna, we used that interview as the example all throughout the program. But anyways, interviewed her. She turned the job down, and I said, "No, you guys didn't do the math with her. She didn't understand the opportunity." I think I had a chance to talk to her, or they went back and talked to her, and then she took the job, and she is a phenomenon. She's a beast. She crushes it. She kills it. She murders it. She is someone that does it right. Okay, come on, Mason. Say what up. This is Mason. If you do reach out, this is my boy. Look, he likes the camera. He won't leave. We'll have to shoot him back off. All right, son. Give the spotlight back. I'm just playing. We're a close family. All right. Dang, no, dude. Both people can't be named the same. All right, Austin Holcomb. You're the second winner. Create more value and provide more options per opportunity. Obviously, our team likes the concept of value and options because we know that when you give people choice. You know, I had ClickFunnels. I won this award, and they came in and they did this whole like success story on us. And today that we were talking about this stuff, and I was making the point, like, if you give people options, like if you think about it like this, just from a conversion standpoint, if you don't give people options, they can do yes, they can say, yeah, I'm gonna buy your widget, I'm gonna buy your shoe, I'm gonna buy your food, I'm gonna buy your plumbing, I'm gonna buy whatever. They can say no. I'm not buying any shoes. I'm not buying any food. Or they could say, no, I'm not buying any shoes from you, but I'm going to go to your competitor. So when you think about it, just from a starting out of the gates in sales, you're at a 33% chance of getting a yes. You've got 1 yes and 2 no's. If you give people 3 options, you give them 3 yeses they still have the 2 no's. And just from a mathematical standpoint, you've increased your odds from 33% to 60%. Now I know it's a little bit of a play on math, but it still rings true. They have more to pick from that's positive than what's negative. And then on top of all that, you take in the science of the brain and how the brain works and the power of 3 and omne, trium, perfectum and all those things that we've talked about on other shows. And it solidifies this point that people can only retain 3 things. So it stands true to be reasonable and say, okay, well, I could come to a conclusion that if I give people 3 viable yeses, 3 real solutions to their problem, the first one being the thing they called me out there for, so that it's something that they can agree on. It's all they wanted to begin with. It's nothing more, nothing less. I have 3 options that are yes. And if what Omne Trium Perfectum says is true, those 2 no's are going to dissipate. They're no longer going to compare me to other people, and they're going to compare me to the other solutions. And it's really a powerful way to give people a great experience, to allow them choice, to allow them solution. You take into what we talked tonight and some of those little things about value stacking, and you start getting into bigger solutions in option 3. It's crazy what you can do in the home for somebody while not having to charge them every single dime and dollar for every single little thing. And it becomes really powerful. You end up making more per hour, you end up making more per job, spending less on marketing, spending less. But if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your margins, you live in fear, you can't make these decisions. You could never agree to do the 3rd shut off or the 3rd whatever at no charge, because your mind can't understand and grapple what's happening there. And so you never offer it. And if you don't offer it, well, they can't take you up on it. And so that's half the battle, right? Is you walking in with confidence, knowing what you can do for them. Heck, this is no different than if you don't know how to plumb and you try to go into a home and diagnose. You're going to have a major lack of confidence, or you're going to have a false sense of confidence and cause problems. But that's a whole nother story for another time. But you're going to walk in with you're going to walk in with a lack of confidence. Product knowledge, that's a powerful one for confidence. Experience, that's a powerful one for confidence. You start adding these things up. Knowing your numbers, knowing what you can and can't do for a customer, that's a powerful one for confidence. And so it's just representing a good brand and company, that's a powerful one for confidence. Knowing they're going to stand behind the work and do the right, that's a powerful one for confidence. And so you start adding all these things up, it's like, man, you become extremely confident. Well, the whole key to this thing is consumer confidence. You're the first employee. So if you're the first customer as an employee. So if you're bought in and you're confident and you have consumer confidence, it can spill over onto the customer, and bam, all of a sudden, we don't have to sell. Bam, all of a sudden we don't have to get people to do stuff. We don't have to convince. We don't have to do tricks. We don't have to say things. We don't have to be gimmicky. We don't have to coerce. We just get to be ourselves. Use our expertise, diagnose what's going on, provide some education, provide a little knowledge, show a little value, give people a great experience, make it convenient to say yes. Option 3. Okay, it doesn't always happen, but it happens a lot more when you do it that way than if you don't. Look, sign up for the training. Email us at info@theplumbingsalescoach if you couldn't get the link to work. It's free training, 60 minutes with me. I'm going to break down the metrics, really show you guys how to do this thing. Revolytics.ai, I'm telling you, that's a powerful tool, very affordable, to allow you and your team to be able to know what's going on in the company, like know where you're going and who's winning and who's not, and where you're winning and where you're not, and all that stuff matters. It's kind of like that movie Moneyball. If you ever watched that movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill, I think. And I just got clips of it on TikTok the other day. It just keeps coming up recently. I don't know why, but anyways, it keeps coming up. And he's talking about, like we're chasing the wrong thing. Everyone's trying to buy stars instead of buying wins. And how do you get wins? Well, that's a KPI, and a metric to that would be runs. Runs are a metric. See, we need runs. How do we get runs? Base hits, getting on base. That's how we win. Well, that guy doesn't get very many base hits. It doesn't matter. He gets on base. And we got to know those numbers so that we can win. We can know we're going to win. We're going to have confidence that we're going to win. I love you guys. Look, I could do this all night, but we're not going to. I'm going to let you go. Remember to serve your community in everything, not just plumbing. Have a good night. If you want more tips about marketing, sales, and business, type subscribe in the comments and get alerts about future shows. Also, check out our podcast on Spotify, Apple, and other major platforms. Thanks again for watching The Fresh